Hello, I'm Desiree Frazier, host of the award-winning news program, Mississippi Edition. We bring you conversations about the latest news from across the Magnolia State. Whether it's politics, healthcare, or education, you'll hear in-depth discussions on issues that matter to you. So join us each weekday morning at 8:30 on MPB Think Radio, or download the podcast, listen through the app, and online.
Little Milton Campbell. Welcome to Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio. Malcolm White, Carol Palmer, and we're going to talk a little bit about soul food today.
I know, and grits are groceries.
That's right. How are you, Carol?
I'm good. I'm really excited about the show today.
Yeah, you've got a great buddy of yours and a neighbor coming on. Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing we like more than soul food, Mal.
Absolutely. And I've eaten her food many times at your house.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to having
Renita
on the show.
Myles-Lee.
Yep, on the show of Lee's Heavenly Barbecue.
And soul food.
And soul food. It's a long name.
It's a long name.
In Bolton, Mississippi. But
no.
Edwards. I get those two confused all the time. My bad.
It's wrong, Mal.
I know.
I'm equally as excited that you brought me some pumpkin cake.
I did. My lovely wife made a buttermilk pumpkin cake. It's an experiment that I'm just sort of a helper and an advisor, but she made this one yesterday, and we both think it has good flavor, but it was too dry, so we're going to add more fat. We're going to add butter. And I suggested to you that when you take it home, if there's any left, and you want to give Johnny a bite, you would slice it and put a little butter and or olive oil on it and toast it a little bit.
Well,
but anyway,
what makes me
fall.
happy
it's
about
fall.
this is that you are introducing pumpkin spice to the season in your own way.
Well, guess what? It's not pumpkin spice. It's actual pumpkin meat. So we're not fooling with pumpkin spice.
Yeah, well, pumpkin spice is everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's ubiquitous, particularly
even in Spam.
Even in coffee shops all across the globe. So this past week, Carol, you've been busy, and I've been here and there, but you sent me a really interesting little tidbit about grapes and the proper way to wash your grapes. And the reason one wants to wash their grapes is that they are treated with pesticides.
Indeed, they are.
And so to be very careful when you buy grapes at the grocery store, when you bring them home, you should give them a little bath, right?
Yeah, but you give them a bath when you're going to eat them.
Just before you eat them?
Yeah, just before you eat them. You don't wash everything and sit it in the refrigerator. When you take out the bunch you're going to eat, you wash it.
And I read the piece you sent me, and it suggested two methodologies. One is just spray them off gently before you put them on a plate to consume them or cook with them or put them in a salad or whatever it is one will be doing with the grapes. But the other suggestion I thought was even more interesting was to submerge the grapes into water and let them soak in there for a little while.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good method.
But the idea is, and we bring this up to just say, be sure to wash your grapes.
Yeah, you heard it here on MPB. I also sent you something else. I sent you something from Ina Garten, the Barefoot Contessa.
You did?
I love her recipes. You know, you can just take it to the bank that they're going to be good. They're triple, quadruple tested.
Right.
Anyway, she talked about grilled cheese.
She did.
And what do we love?
We love it. I mean,
Grilled cheese, Mel.
absolutely.
Cheese toast.
That's right. But I saw that, and she was suggesting. Now, let me see if I have this right, because it's been a few days. That you put mayonnaise on the exterior?
No,
what was she saying?
Actually, she said a lot of people do. Mayonnaise, but she actually uses butter. But she melts her butter and then she brushes it on with the pastry brush, because, like we've all found out, it's hard to swipe butter evenly on the outside of outside of your piece of bread. But I really like that. And then she said mayo would work too, but really the technique of putting it on with the pastry brush.
And am I right that she said that putting mayo on the exterior of the bread as opposed to putting it in on the interior with the cheese?
You do either the mayo or the butter on the exterior of the bread to make it really, really brown.
Now, I sent you a piece last week, and we failed to mention it because we were so busy visiting and catching up and sharing the gospel of the Deep South dining world. But I saw a piece online, I think it was, where Derek Emerson has now decided exactly what he's going to do with the old Eudora Fine and Dandy location in the district.
Yes.
And he's going to call it Mesa, as in Arizona.
I like it.
Yeah, Mesa. And it will be a Tex-Mex, I hate this word, when it should, concept. I hate concept.
You know, and
Derek
honey,
would you like to go out tonight and eat at a concept?
And Derek doesn't, I don't think of Derek in the concept, frame of mind. I mean, he's real food at real places, but I wandered through. John and I went to Sacred Ground, his barbecue place out in Pocahontas. It's open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're out there for lunch, and when I walked to the counter to order, Derek goes, "Darn, Carol, you're 5 minutes too late.
Uh-oh.
I've been back there making tortillas."
For Mesa.
You know how Derek is. He experiments for months before he does anything. So I miss the tortillas. Mel, the other part of that post you sent me is they're opening or reopening the bar, the old cultivation food hall
across the street.
Beautiful bar, and they're calling it Little Effie's.
Little Effie's for our friend Effie.
For his business part,
right?
Effie.
So that's Derek and Jennifer Emerson and Effie and their new enterprise. I think, if I read correctly, they're going to plan to open in December.
Yes,
Mesa and
we'll be there.
Little Effie's across the street, and there are other things going on in the cultivation location, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to misspeak about that, but I think exciting things are coming to the district.
Hey, can I circle back to grilled cheese for a minute?
Please.
Okay. Another thing that Ina Garten said is that fruit and cheese are a great pairing. And on her perfect grilled cheese, she uses chutney. She adds a little chutney, just store-bought, nothing fancy, off the shelf.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the type of cheese that we grill in our grilled cheese and our cheese toast. And I bought this past weekend, I bought some Vermont white cheddar. And another article I sent you was the difference between white cheddar and yellow cheddar. Do you remember that piece? We send each other so much stuff.
Yes, we
throughout
do.
the week. And there was this comparison to which is which, and honestly, I don't really recall the details of it, but it triggered in my mind how much I love that Vermont white cheddar.
So I love that
I was
stuff.
off to the store to get a block, and I've been making cheese toast and grilled cheese with that.
Well,
what sort of cheese do you
extra
use?
Sharp. I always use extra sharp. I love the Vermont white. I love British extra sharp. But
British.
Extra sharp cheddar is aged for at least 12 months. So that's the difference. Often longer. But it is significantly sharper.
Well, speaking of having lunch out, as you did at Sacred Grounds, I had lunch at the Hen and Egg in the old Sun and Sand Motel in downtown Jackson this past week. I went on Friday, and I had the catfish nuggets, the mac and cheese, and the pinto beans and cornbread. And it was just quite delicious. So glad that they're up and running. That's my second visit to the Hen and Egg. And really good, really good. I recommend. They do breakfast and lunch. Again,
Are people finding it?
it was packed, and I
Right.
got there at 11:30. It's a small place, so
But surrounded by state office buildings, it should be
correct.
Should be packed.
So it was very good. And one other thing I wanted to mention about my wife, she also made a fabulous pot of butternut squash soup yesterday. I see you closing your eyes
Oh,
because
my
you
goodness.
know how good that is. She prepped it for a little get-together she's involved with. And one of the key ingredients in the way she makes the butternut squash soup is by adding crystal hot sauce to give it a certain...
A little jolt.
Yes, a little boom.
So really, it's a white household. You're celebrating fall.
That's exactly
And today
right.
is the first day of fall, isn't that right?
Well, if you say it is, it is. So,
Okay.
well, congratulations to all. Welcome to fall. My grandson was very excited because we bought a few of those little miniature pumpkins and brought home yesterday and had them all about the house. And he said, "Oh, are we celebrating fall?" I was like, "Yes." So he's catching on there. So
Like to celebrate.
September 24, Carol, is National Cherries Jubilee Day, and you're probably wondering why would I bring that up. I just was reminded when I saw that we used to make both Bananas Foster and Cherries Jubilee tableside when I was running Oliver's Restaurant in Highland Village back in the late 70s, early 80s. And our maitre d' Jacques, who was a Frenchman, would prepare both the Bananas Foster and the Cherries Jubilee tableside.
Yeah, those are old school. You don't see Cherries Jubilee. I'm glad they have a day. But you saute them or cook them in like orange juice or some kind of
orange curacao or some orange liqueur. I believe. Yes, and then butter, and then woof, you flame it.
Yeah, I'll do
And,
love a flame.
It'll singe you. You got to be careful. Also, let's see. Speaking of Highland Village, I wanted to note that September 28th is Strawberry Cream Pie Day. And the reason I bring that up is to say, do you remember Shoney's? Exactly. It's now, what is
Char.
it? Char. I started to say Table 100, but that's a cousin. Char is in the old location of Shoney's. And when I moved to Jackson, I ran Oliver's in Highland Village, and there was TGI Fridays and Shoney's and Oliver's, I think, were the three food and beverage operations. Anyway, there may have been another one. I can't remember now. But the old strawberry pie at Shoney's was certainly
that's what
a
everybody went
standby.
for. And Malcolm, you were an adult by the time you came and had strawberry pie. But the big action when I was in high school was to drive across Jackson to the Shoney's in Westland Plaza and circle around. There would be cars circling around. This is what teenagers did.
Okay.
One chain went this way and one went that way. And then when you got tired of it, you would go in and have strawberry pie.
But you were out there combing. Looking for fellowship, friends.
But back then you didn't actually do anything. You just rode around.
Just rode around.
You
yeah.
just rode around.
Well, in Boonville, we had a similar situation, but we rode around Jack Spratt's, which was a drive-in owned by a local fella named Red Van Devender. So it was also referred to as Red's. But you would pull up and park, and the car hop would come out. But the main reason was to see who else was there. Then later, a few years later, they built a Coleman's Barbecue next door that had a full drive around. So once it opened, we just began to circle.
Drive around.
Like you did.
Just circle.
Looking, what is it that's cruising for burgers in Daddy's new car, I think is a line from a Frank Zappa song.
Yeah, I got it.
Anyway.
You know, one thing you did not note on the list of days this week, and I thought about you when I saw this, National Pancake Day is Friday or Saturday.
It's the 26th. Yes.
Whatever day that is. And you make a fine pancake.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You know, Robert St. John serves his grandmother's pancakes.
What are they, Muffies?
Something like that. But he's often recording reels and videos about his grandmother's pancakes. So, with that, we will take a short break.
Let's do
it. If you are
it.
so inclined, we'll come back and bring in our very special guest for today, all the way from Edwards, Mississippi. Yep. And we will, Renita Myles-Lee of Lee's Heavenly Barbecue and Soul Food.
Correct.
Will be joining us after a short break. You're certainly welcome to join the fun here. It's toll-free. It's 1-877-672-7464. Or if you'd like to just engage with an email, we're food@mpbonline.org. Carol, we'll be right back after a very short break.
When the weather turns severe, when breaking news affects your family, when Mississippi needs answers, MPB is there. We provide real-time emergency alerts, trusted news coverage, and live broadcasts of emergency updates. Available on TV, radio, and online. MPB is on the air and by your side every day of the year. Because when it matters most, Mississippi turns to MPB. Mississippi's trusted source. MPB, your stories, our mission.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Welcome back to Deep South Dining here on MPB Think Radio. Malcolm White with the one and only, my skillet buddy, Carol Palmer. Hello,
Hey, Mal.
Good to have you. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. And look at who we
filled
see
up.
over here.
We filled up
got
very
Java.
quickly. We've gone from just the two of us to a joyful
I know it. We've got the band
plate
back
of
together.
plenty. We got Java Chapman here, who's joined us, the director of radio.
Yeah, this is,
He occasionally will come and spend some time with his old
And
pals.
guess why he's here? Because he heard there's going to be somebody here that makes the best mac and cheese in the area.
Now that's what I'm always about the mac and cheese. But last segment, I heard y'all talk about Shoney's.
Oh, yeah.
And that was one of my first jobs working at the Shoney's. I was a waiter at the Shoney's Metro Center. Right off of Highway 80. I mean, you know where Metro Center is.
Oh, yeah. And so we were talking about the strawberry pie.
Uh-huh.
It's a signature pie.
Oh, people used to just come in and get the pie and just leave. That was it.
Now, were you ever back there when they were assembling the pie? Did you ever see it constructed? Or was it shipped in on a truck or what?
I'm trying to think. I think they may have already kind of been put together. And then you just kind of let them thaw out a little bit.
They came pre-made.
Yeah, that was one of the things I learned quickly in the restaurant industry. Everything's not made in
from
the
scratch.
bag. Yeah, it's a lot of bags and packages.
And now it had like gel or jello.
Yeah.
in
It was very ooey gooey.
Yeah.
And it was sort of unreal, but flavorful, and people loved it.
Yeah.
It is my great honor and pleasure to introduce my friend Renita Myles-Lee from Edwards. Welcome, Renita.
Thank you for this opportunity.
This woman not only cooks soul food, but she has a beautiful soul and loving heart because in addition to serving food to her community, she gives out 1,000 backpacks a year to kids, rents a bus and takes kids to Geyser Park up in Philadelphia, kids who've never even been out of town, really. And this is the one I could never do, is put a bunch of elderly women on a train and take them to New Orleans for an overnight. I don't know.
72 to 92.
Yeah, yeah. So this is
People
woman,
my age.
Malcolm, we can just say in Java, she's got soul.
Yeah, a lot of soul. It sounds like Ms. Lee's out here doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Yes, we are not just a soul food restaurant. We feed the body, spirit, and soul. And I was listening to you talking about things in the bag. That's the thing that's not even thought about at Lee's Heavenly
Okay.
Barbecue. Everything is homemade. Sweet potatoes are sliced every morning.
Ooh.
Greens, that macaroni with those 4 cheeses that it's just going to, when you lift it, that cheese going to come up to your satisfaction. So that's one thing that I have looked around, and I do go to different restaurants to just see my competition. And I found out soul food is just not what it used to be. Mm-hmm. People in soul food are perpetrating. They're using canned stuff.
Yeah.
So that's something we're just totally against. We want the home cooking, and that my grandmother taught me. So that's what we try to offer.
What do you do off season when fresh the vegetables aren't coming in and you can't get fresh peas or greens, or what? How do you do in the wintertime?
During the summer, I do have a sweet potato farmer that I get cases of sweet potato. Oh, that's where I get my greens from too, while they're there. And then I do get them from the store, but they are fresh. I get fresh greens, so nothing's never in a can. So all season, I'm more at Walmart, getting that brand of vegetable. But during the season, I'm getting it from our farmers.
From the farmers. You talked about the 4 cheeses. Mm-hmm. Can you name those 4 cheeses for us?
Okay, I'm going to tell you my secret.
Uh-oh.
See, I get right to it.
We opening the book.
Now, Renita, I don't know. It's up to you. This guy's going to pump you about your greens, so you might as well go ahead.
Okay.
Might as well go ahead and talk about the mac and cheese.
Now, you can know the ingredients, but it's all about how you put it together.
That's
now.
And me
key.
too.
See, there you
We
go.
That's the
always leave
gospel.
just a little secret out. But I use pizza cheese. I use sharp cheese. I heard y'all talking about the sharp cheese. It's very distinct. And I use mild cheese and regular sharp cheese. But the pizza cheese is that little added item.
That's the mozzarella?
That brings the mozzarella and all the different cheeses. So when you pick the macaroni up, that cheese lingers.
Gotcha.
So that's what it really embodies, all of the cheese and all the flavors together.
Beautiful.
Now, I hate if you're not watching our live stream, because we flashed a couple of pictures of some of the food, and I saw that macaroni and cheese looking nice and yellowy and golden. Yeah, I'm hungry.
So, Renita, your family you haven't been in Edwards, but your family, you got history.
Right. Well, I am from the Midwest. I was born in California, but my family always came to the South. We always came for the family reunion, so we were always migrating. And as soon as we pulled up, my grandmother had those biscuits in the oven, that fried chicken and the rice, which was a unique experience for us because we didn't eat like that. That's why I've now incorporated the Midwesterner and the Southern roots and created my own kind of flavor. But Southern cooking has always been deeply indoctrinated in my family. And I come from a family of 6 girls.
Okay.
My father didn't have any boys, but he was an advocate, believer of cooking. He always told us a key to a man's heart is through their stomach. So cooking,
So true.
I would say he was wise.
And the one thing about soul food is the seasoning. Seasoning what makes soul food what it is. And that's an area that I just explore. I'm not afraid to use cross seasonings and spices like with those greens that you interested
That we're going
in.
to talk about. Mhm. Yeah, I know those greens.
I try to even come a little healthy with them. I do mixed greens.
Good.
I don't even share what I put in them until they eat them.
Okay.
Because I use kale, I use collard, mustard, and turnip, all mixed up.
There you
and
go.
most people will say, "Oh, I will never eat kale." I said, "You just ate it." So if you don't know, I bring a little kind of, I want to say, what's my word? I want it to be semi-healthy. But in the South, we eat what we eat.
Right.
So I have to be careful with that too. And I don't use ham hocks, but I use turkey parts.
Everybody,
Fat in that.
everybody
Renders.
swears they think you use ham hocks.
Hocks, right. So today, that is my hidden secret. I just exposed myself.
Oh, well, I think that's a big thing. You know, when people hear soul food, sometimes they think about all the unhealthy parts or something like that. So that was my question about how are you kind of balancing that at Lee's Heavenly Barbecue
And soul food.
and soul food.
Right.
But you just told us,
Right,
yeah.
right. Because I have a lot of customers who don't eat pork. But I have a lot of elderly people. We have senior programs, as Carol mentioned. We do a lot in the community. I have like 7 seniors that, it brings back the history for them. They no longer can cook, but they know they can get some good peas and greens and home-cooked food. And the pork chops. I have to talk about the pork chops.
Now, this is a place where she and I almost never got to be friends because I was so proud, as Java knows and Malcolm knows, of my pork chops.
Okay.
And as y'all
Yeah.
said, I was telling them about how I cook the pork chops. And I was cooking these thick pork chops, and I said, and then I drizzled a little something, and Malcolm and Java went, "John don't want no drizzle." And so
Smother 'em.
ever since he had Renita's pork chops a couple of years
You're
ago,
off the
I've
hook.
never cooked another pork chop.
That was the end.
Do you think that's your most famous? What's the dish that people come back for the most, and you couldn't open without?
Well, it's the macaroni, baked chicken, and the sweet potatoes. That's the
Okay.
staple.
Staples, yeah.
But the smothered pork chops also is a staple too, and neck bones.
Yeah.
As I was saying before, neck bones is like with the gravy, and I do like a light gravy. I use a lot of soups. I explore a lot of soups, which gives you that light gravy, but it still gives you great for the rice, but it's not heavy. It's not as healthy, but it's good flavor.
So you also, besides soul food, you feature barbecues. Can you talk a little bit about your
Yes.
barbecue? Is it a smoked or is it a oven prepared How do you do your barbecue?
We are old fashioned. We smoke our meat using pecan wood, cherry, and apple wood. My husband is the grill master.
Okay.
And we smoke pork steaks, ribs, pork, brisket, jerk chicken, and sometimes we'll do jerk ribs to introduce just something different.
Right.
Just recently at the Pickle Festival, we smoked some pickle wrap pickles.
Smoked
wait.
pickle.
Pickle
Bake-
wrap pickles.
Pickle wrapped.
Yes.
What were they wrapped in? Bacon?
We had spear pickles. We
Okay.
wrapped them in just regular bacon. And we created our own signature rub. So we marinated in our rub and we smoked them to perfection. And it went very well at the Pickle Festival.
See, the Pickle Fest brings out all different combinations
Yes.
of the pickle iterations.
Yes, indeed. A lot of pickling going
I
on.
never heard of that. That's
We got a couple of callers.
Okay.
We'll take those and then we'll get back to this conversation. We got John calling. What's up, John? I don't know where you're from.
Hey, Bentonia.
Okay, Bentonia.
And yeah. I wanted to welcome you back online with your travails with power transmission lines, and I got a little joke about Southern Deep South dining and PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls,
Okay.
and and it's a joke. So don't. It's not really a joke. It's a little story. But so back in the early '80s, I had the misfortune of attending my first year of college at Manchester College in North, not South, Manchester, Indiana. And it's a little, religious college, and they had a little 5,000 watt radio station down on the dial like y'all are. I lobbied like crazy to get a spot on the board and to be able to, have a little radio show. And I had John Neidig's Rock and Roll Hour on Sunday night, the worst possible time location of any. And one of the jobs of the disc jockey, because all the technicians were all gone, was to periodically, every half hour on the half hour, to check the power transmission of the transformer in the little closet next to the board, which was a huge water cooled PCB, polychlorinated biphenyl, transmission powered.
Gizmo.
I don't remember the technical, but anyway, so I forgot my sugar got low one night, and I had Led Zeppelin on repeat, an album on repeat, and I didn't check it. The station manager gives me a call, yelling and screaming and swearing every word in the book. Said, "You're bleeding all over the religious stations. Turn that thing down."
Little Led Zeppelin, infused with the religious station. There you go.
Yeah. Nah, that's a cool.
The next morning, I didn't have my show anymore.
That was the end of your rock and roll career. All right.
Yeah, cool story, John.
Yeah, great, man.
Yeah, man.
So I'm glad you guys got your transmission.
Yeah, we're glad we got our cooler cooled down.
Yeah,
and we're back on the air.
Yeah,
we got
we're
our
back.
groove back.
Yeah.
All right, John, thanks a lot for listening. Thanks for calling. We got one more caller here. I would not even begin, sir or ma'am, to try to pronounce your name. Would you do that for us?
Rolani Branch, and I'm from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Rolani, all right.
Rolani,
We're glad you're
yeah.
here. What's going on?
Yes. You were talking about food being healthy versus unhealthy, like pork.
Right.
The only thing, if you use fresh pork, not cured meat, it's considered as healthy as you can get.
Gotcha.
It's the curing the meat.
The curing
is
is the problem.
The salt, yes, is the problem, and a lot of people don't know that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for
appreciate that, Rolani. Yeah.
What would you say to that,
That's
Renita?
a good suggestion, because I can see the process of the curing, that's adding additional to that meat. So, okay, I'm going to try that on some of my meals.
Uncured.
Those who do eat pork.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Now, as we're talking about soul food, I saw, I think maybe Malcolm O'Carroll shared it, that all Southern food is not soul food, but soul food is most definitely Southern. Now, you say you were born in California. Were there soul food places out west?
Not really.
Yeah.
I was young in California, so Indianapolis.
Okay, yeah, you
was
said in
kind of
Midwest.
the transition, then Chicago.
Uh-huh.
So coming from Chicago, you did find it was several well-known soul foods places, but they were in business for like 50 years.
Yeah.
And everybody went to that location. And that's why we decided to do it in Mississippi, because Edwards is like a food desert. Everything is fried. You get fried chicken feet, fried stuff. Nothing healthy. So that's what motivated us to do it here in Mississippi. But soul food was available in Chicago.
Well, soul food traveled north during the Great Migration. I mean,
Yeah.
over 1 million people left the South, and a bunch of them stopped in St. Louis, went on to Chicago and then to Detroit and over to Indianapolis to find jobs, and because of economics. And so soul food traveled with it. And speaking of economics, you and I've talked before that soul food is about economics. I mean, you're feeding your people, and you're using like you're talking about turkey parts or rib tips, or Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, because even though the economy is struggling, I still try to keep an economical type of menu. So I do a lot of rice, and that's why I do the gravies, because rice has been a staple in the soul food community for years because it's hearty. Then there's the flavors you can add to the rice through the different gravies. And then you can come get a chicken thigh, a side of rice, less than $10. Get a piece of cornbread, too. We have the best cornbread in the world, too.
Do you add sugar or not?
Yes. My husband is a sugar baby.
Okay.
He's a cornbread man.
Now, is the sweet tea included?
Yes.
Okay.
Sugar baby also. Best sweet tea, McAllister, nothing personal. Can't touch Lee's Heavenly Barbecue.
There you go.
But that what we try to do because we are in an economically challenged community.
Sure.
So trying to balance that, we have meals like that. You know, we do a lot of like neck bones and chicken and instead of high-end foods.
Now,
That's
make sure we
typical
can
of,
do that.
of soul,
Sure,
soul food.
But also typical of, establishments, I believe, like Lee's Heavenly Barbecue, because, if you have a corporate type of mindset, then you're just going to go for bottom line all the time. But you are keeping the community with, in the forefront of everything that you do, as far as like making the choices for some of the things that you are serving and keeping it economical,
Now, I do balance that. I mean, I do brisket. I do, high-end meat also. It depends. We do a lot of catering.
you do ribs?
Ribs, so it depends on the request.
Yeah.
But locally, like we just did a car show just this weekend. Some of the foods that we have at the, those locations, we might not have in the business because we're more soul food oriented at our brick and mortar. So we have a variety. We balance, and we also have desserts. We specialize in desserts, bread puddings, peach cobblers. I want you all to try some of my cakes in the jar. I brought a variety. I think Carol picked lemon.
Malcolm?
She picked the lemon. That
This
is
is a
a strawberry.
strawberry, yeah.
We have a red velvet and have a Neapolitan. Has
So I
a
got the
variety
red
of
velvet.
flavors. All homemade. Like I say, we really strive for homemade everything.
Marissa, you stuck with Neapolitan.
I'll take whatever I can get.
Java, do you have,
And some
do you have a
spoons.
fork?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you
brought
have a spoon.
some
Okay.
spoons, yes.
All right.
Peach cobbler is a traditional soul food. Most every
Yes.
soul food restaurant you see has
Yes.
peach cobbler.
Right.
the red
That
velvet.
is a staple. Peach cobbler is one of my desserts I do all the time. And the cakes are a variety. I fluctuate with those. But like I said, with the macaroni, yams, and the baked chicken,
That's
peach
good.
cobbler is also the staple that everybody's accustomed to.
So
Well,
what kind of peaches do you use?
Now, peaches, I don't use fresh peaches. I
Well,
just
that's
use them out of the
impossible,
can.
yeah.
Right.
So you use that you use a can for?
Yes, I do.
Great.
And they're mighty fine. But Renita, you can seat, how many people can you seat in there?
I can see 10 people in the inside, and I do have some outside seating, so another 6 outside.
And you're in downtown Edwards
Downtown Edwards on Main Street.
on the main drag.
Yes.
Been there since how long?
We've been there. This is our 10th year in May. We actually brought this trailer from the school in Jackson. Just missing my mind. The alternative school in Jackson.
Okay.
We relocated it. We rehabbed it. We brought local product to our location. The floors in it is from my family's home. So they're like 100 years old. The floors and part of the wood is from a wood shop that was in the town. So we wanted to bring some local kind of culture to our business because we wanted it cozy and friendly when you come in. So
But you're mostly plates. I mean, plates going out the door. But take
we have a
out-
combination. Workers will sit down, but otherwise it's workers coming in, getting plates, leaving. But if it's like a group of workers, they will sit down. So we have a combination. But on the average, it's kind of like call in, pick up, or come in and self-serve.
Now, are you breakfast and lunch or just
No,
lunch?
just lunch.
What are the hours?
It's from 11 to 3, Tuesday through Friday.
Tuesday through okay.
Yes.
But it's a lot of mad people on Monday.
Yes, we do get a lot of calls on Mondays, but That's our day.
Now, Carol, you live right down the road, so you get a lot of takeout from Lee's.
Oh Lord, she gets if she hadn't sent the menu out by 11,
You're calling.
I have to call her because I mean she feeds my husband.
So you changed.
I would be, but he prefers her cooking.
What's easier on you? And you change the menu every day?
Yes, the staples are the baked chicken, macaroni, and yams, and we always going to have 3 vegetables. And so on Tuesday it's kind of pasta day. We'll have Cajun pasta, that's seafood and country pleasing sausages. We might have lasagna. We might have.
Her lasagna is fabulous. I buy it by the pan.
Do you use ground beef in your lasagna?
Yes, yes. The 3 cheeses also.
Oh, okay.
And,
the same 3. No, you use 4 in the mac and cheese,
yeah,
right?
just 3 in the there.
Okay.
And so we're going to also have the vegetables. And Tuesday, we're going to have the smothered pork chops, and we'll have red beans and sausages. And then Thursday, we have meatloaf and turkey pars, Friday neck bones, and catfishes on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Do you serve spaghetti with your catfish?
Spaghetti is on Friday. That's a Southern tradition.
Yes. Is that a meat sauce?
Meat sauce. Well, we make our own sauce.
Yep.
Everything we make, you
Right.
know, with the fresh tomatoes and the chopped up mixed vegetables and tomato sauce. And then I will add ground beef. Mm-hmm. So, yes.
Now, I wanted to ask you, speaking of tomatoes, do you make a tomato gravy?
That I do not know how to do, but I
How
have
about
been
that?
researching it because
You got to be curious.
Yes, my pastor. There's never been a request, only my pastor. So since he asked for it, I'm looking for
Well, now you've got
recipes.
2 requests.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
okay.
I would be
But that's kind of
interested.
an Italian thing, right?
No.
No, it's
No.
a Southern
Tomato
thing,
gravy-
but it's
That's
just
what I was
kind
gonna
of
say.
an
Break that
older
down.
Southern thing. You don't hear too many people. Most people who ask for that, nothing personal, are real mature people.
So, Java, you just
Yes, that's a good word.
you take either a can of tomatoes or fresh tomatoes and cook them down with onions, garlic, seasoning, and then you thicken it like you would a brown gravy or a white gravy, whatever you use.
Yeah.
And it thickens up and it goes over, say, rice, it goes over mashed potatoes, it goes over particularly meatloaf.
Well, I can.
It's a
yeah,
great
I
home
can see
for
the
it right
meatloaf.
there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt a pork chop either, I wouldn't think. I mean, I'm just saying. Can you walk us through your pork chop sort of prep? Not all your secrets, but a lot of people's pork chops are chewy and tough. What's the secret for making them tender and tasty?
Oh, see.
I was just kidding because, you know, I was, she always said I was causing problems in her relationship. So I'm the other woman when it comes to the pork chops. But I griddle my pork chops first.
You grill them?
Yes.
Okay.
I braise
Really?
them. Yes, that's the secret. I season them and I braise them. And then I put them in, I bake them.
Bake them, cover them.
Cover them with my soups, onions,
Smother, Malcolm, smother.
smother them in a stick of butter.
Yeah.
That stick of butter is the key. That's that real secret of just making that fat just marinate in the pork chops.
Making the fat fatter.
Yes.
No,
it's not
making
a
the
healthy-
fat better.
Yes. It's delicious, but it's
like that,
not a
making the
healthy
fat
pork
better.
chop. By any means, it's not healthy.
Fat is fat. Making
And then
it
you
better.
cut them onions over them, and you can also slice some potatoes in them. It goes real well. Pairs rock nice with potatoes. And then you bake it for about an hour covered. Then you take it off the cover and let it brown a little bit, and then you have the most delicious, tender. You don't even need a knife. You can just do like that, and that pork chop melts in your mouth.
Now, you begin this the day before, or do you do it all the morning
I
of?
do it in the morning of.
So you get there early.
Yes. Me and my husband get in early and prepare it.
He's on the grill.
Yes. Well, he helps a lot. He do the sweet potatoes.
How do you do your sweet potatoes?
Well, we slice sweet potatoes daily. Sugar.
Butter.
I make my own flavor.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing with me. I do a lot of stuff that most restaurants probably wouldn't go the extra mile for. So your homemade flavor goes a long ways. I use cinnamon, lemon flavor, and that's it.
You and Malcolm are going to be great
Yeah, I
friends
love
because
those.
he's like you. He's just shaking seasoning all over things. He'll,
Right.
he'll open a cabinet and just go for it.
Do you zest the lemon or do you use lemon
No,
juice?
I'll use lemon juice, fresh lemon, zest lemon, if whatever lemon juice I have.
You know,
Just a little bit. It keeps my potatoes clean.
Right.
I like my food when you put it on the table to say hallelujah.
You and me both.
It have to be beautiful. It can be so good, but if it's not pretty, it cannot go on my table.
That's right. You eat with your eyes.
Yes, because that is appealing. The first thing we see, we smell, and then we see. So if it doesn't look good, you might not want to try it. So lemon juice keeps the color. That's why I just put a little lemon juice to keep the color of the potatoes.
Excellent.
But tons of sugar.
Yeah.
Tons of sugar.
Even though there's
Yes,
sweet potatoes.
and that's the key. I used to put nutmeg in them, but
Yeah.
just the cost of nutmeg, I have realized with the cinnamon and those other, nobody never missed the flavor. So economically cost, a little cost effectively, you can put nutmeg in it too, but I don't anymore.
Do you pinto beans? You cook pintos?
Yes, pinto beans and sausages.
Pinto
Like-
beans is another traditional soul food.
Right. Now that's something I believe my father invented back years ago. My father was a dump cooker.
Yeah.
He would dump everything in a pot, and for years, he called them red beans and sausages. I just found out it wasn't a red bean. That it actually was a pinto bean. Red beans is totally different. I've
Yeah,
never
that's
cooked
a
a
kidney
red bean.
bean, yeah.
Right. But we call them red beans and sausages traditionally. And
The
he just
pintos,
put
wow.
a bunch of stuff in it, and that became a meal. So now I see that's a tradition. Red beans and sausages is now a meal. But years ago, my father did that. So I say my father invented that.
So you talk about country pleasing. Do you like their sausages, apparently?
Well, I use country pleasing. I'll put a little venison in it. I use Cajun sausages. I use beef sausages. I use a variety. But I do in my Cajun pasta, I use the country pleasing.
And it's spicy, Mal.
What's that Alabama sausage that we...
Conica?
Conica? Do you use that, the little
I
one?
don't use those cost effective.
Yeah, they're
They're
expensive.
very expensive. And tell you the truth, country pleasing, my husband made a mistake and got the ones with the green onions. And we found the recipe. So ever since
Is
we
that
use
what's
them
in
now.
the pasta?
Yes, it's the
Because
country
it's
pleasing
spicy.
with the green onions. But I do use a lot of cayenne peppers and red peppers and stuff. So I marinate my shrimp so they are kind of spicy in the spices. Because I don't think the sausage itself is spicy. But I put a Cajun sausage in there too.
Cool.
So
You know, Java, the term soul food wasn't really used until the 60s and 70s. It was, you know, during like the Black Power movement and Black Pride, and people were starting to, you know, really in Harlem and other places,
Yeah, no, that's
be really proud of their roots. And it was, you remember, like there were Soul Train, and so soul was this word that was.
That's always
connected.
fascinating because, you know, for me, you know, I was born in the 80s, so these things were already in place. So to know that, you know, it kind of had an evolution, I think it was in, what's the name of the book? Autobiography of Malcolm X. There was a mention of a soul food spot, and I learned that was like one of the first mentionings in print or, you know, in literature, so to speak, that soul food was put in that book. But it's interesting to know that was not always the thing.
And can you imagine how far we've come that we now refer to the city we live in as a city with soul? That would have never, ever been uttered 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Thinking about it in that
and now it's
context.
a
That's
sense
right.
of pride. It used to be soul.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
well, I've come to realize soul food is a unifier. Food itself and soul food is comfort food. So you want to just kick your feet off and, you know, get that good pot of greens or macaroni. And so that's where families gather. So I think that's why food has become such a nucleus now with the soul part of it, because it's such a comfort. Like our family, Thanksgiving, everybody potluck.
Yeah.
Everybody bring a dish all over from our family. And the dressing is the key.
Oh,
you
my.
can't make the dressing, you're
Don't
in
try.
trouble.
I would say, please don't try.
Yes, you are in trouble. Dressing, our whole meal is centered around the dressing, even though everything is important. But that dressing, when I was there, I was in charge of dressing. And when I left Indianapolis and moved to Mississippi, it was transferred down to my daughter, which put pressure on her.
She
And
called for the
took it
recipe,
on.
though, I hope.
Well, she did. She took it on. Then she moved to Mississippi. Then the pressure was out there. So I think my eldest sister took it on. So dressing is a staple in the Black community for Thanksgiving around that unifying of the food for soul food.
Also, the macaroni and cheese.
See, he thinks mac and cheese is a Thanksgiving tradition.
I got to give a shout out to Maya, my sister's wife, and she introduced us. We always had a good macaroni and cheese, crispy top, and different type of cheeses, but she makes a 7-cheese macaroni and cheese. And when she introduced that to our family,
she was in.
And then Crystal, my wife, learned how to make it. That's it. That's all I need to. That's it. That's it.
Java, I love that term, crispy top mac and cheese.
Yeah, I mean, who wants wet mac and cheese? Gotta have a little crispy crunch. I mean, that means your cheeses are right. It was in the oven for the right amount of time. It made its way, and then I can wax poetically about macaroni and cheese.
Well, go ahead. I know it means a lot to you.
And that's ironic. I don't bake my macaroni.
You don't bake it?
No.
You just stir it up and serve it.
It doesn't have the crispy, what you're saying.
The crispy top. Okay. Okay.
But it's not wet.
But it's not wet.
No, but I know the feeling.
Yeah.
But because of how I have to hold my macaroni,
that's right.
I don't. But I just want you to know both versions can be good. So I'm going to bring you some that's not wet, but not crispy either.
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down.
Renita, you're going to be at the National Folk Festival, right?
Yes, I will.
That's November 6th.
I'm going to be there the 8th and the 9th, the Saturday and the Sunday.
Okay, great.
And but starts on Friday, 7th.
Yes.
You'll be serving.
Yes, macaroni will be there.
I know where Java and I will be hanging out.
I'm in line.
And Java, we just roped her in. I told your friend Tavi Moyo about her, and
good work.
We recruited.
Well, see, that's the thing about the folk festival, because it's all about these kind of traditions and American, just traditions.
Southern, that's right.
Yeah, Southern.
All right, folks. Deep South Dining is a production of Mississippi Public Broadcasting's Think Radio, and we are here because of your generous support, and we thank you. Please consider making a contribution. If you like the shows you hear and you want to keep them online, you can visit mpbonline.org or show your support by using the MPB app. Our show is produced by Marissa Vaughn. For our very special guest, Renita Myles-Lee. We had Java Chapman join us today, and we're grateful. For my co-host, Carol Palmer, and myself, Malcolm White, we ask that you stay tuned for Everyday Tech at 10 and Southern Remedy at 11. Please join us every Monday and every Sunday at 9 a.m. for more Deep South Dining.